You beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Unaligned and Unfiltered. I'm your host, Jack, or the Twisted Wanderer, and welcome back to a Scully Sunday session. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I've missed you. Shout out, before we get into this episode, I just want to call something out. Want to apologize for not seeing you all on Twisted Thursday. I do apologize. I've had tech issues with episodes lately, and then not being able to re-record. And I just wanted to apologize and say I'm sorry. I've missed you all. But we're going to be back on track. I'm deciding to just put a pause because I'm having such a hard time getting it out. We're going to put a pause on it, and I will see you all again for Twisted Thursday in June. So the first Thursday of June, I will see you for Twisted Thursday. And I'm going to speak more on this at the end about what I have planned for June and all that good stuff, but also just wanted to shout you all out and say I'm sorry, I've missed you, but we will be back on track for June. So just bear with me. I appreciate you all for being here, and I promise we'll be back on track. Appreciate you. All right. So for today's episode for Scully Sunday, I was inspired by my most recent podcast guest, who you will see her episode this June for Scoliosis Awareness Month. So keep an eye out for that. That will be airing on the first Sunday of Scoliosis Awareness Month. And we were talking, and it inspired me because we were talking about what it felt like to be young with pain from scoliosis, and what it felt like to go to physical therapy, to go to chiropractic in pain, and just still being in pain afterwards. And that really got me thinking, because she expressed her journey so well, and it was something that I don't think I've sat with or spoken about. So that's what we're going to do today. I kind of want to talk about the journey that overall led to spinal fusion at the age of 25, but really what it felt like in those early years as a teenager with scoliosis and pain. And yeah, so that's where we're going to go today. So to take us on the journey, we're going to go a little bit backwards in case anyone listening is new to the podcast, hasn't listened to the first episode. So a little refresher. I was diagnosed with scoliosis at the age of 13 in my second year of seventh grade. It was during the Adam Forward bend test, where you just bend over and they can see if you have a curvature in your spine, and I had one in my spine. So they diagnosed me with scoliosis, and of course nothing really came from this. Pretty sure wait and see. This is my wait and see period. Yes, this is my wait and see period. I always have to think. I'm like, wait. So whatever. We're at 13. Now, 14, 15, 16 is kind of really when pain starts to be present, especially 15 years old. So I go to my parents, and we start the journey of what feels like my whole entire youth during high school, which is just in and out of physical therapy and chiropractic. So let's go. Let's talk about it. First, I just want to talk about how, I guess, angry I am looking back. I'm just starting to feel annoyed, actually, just talking about this. Because something that we've learned, and what I think contributed to this, is that when you first get diagnosed with scoliosis, of course you get your x-ray, and you see your spine curved for the first time. And I remember thinking, wow, there's a fucking S in my spine. I'm an S. That's just wild. Who knew, right? I was 16, 15 years old, 14, when you saw your x-ray for the first time. And as someone who now is peeling back the layers and kind of understands, I didn't always have, I'm on the journey to self-love, but I didn't really didn't have a lot of self-love. To share some background story, like as a child, I also was epileptic. Um, and I was on seizure medicines from like 4 years old until 13 or 14 years old. So scoliosis came right at the, just another thing in my life. And epilepsy had already made me, feel indifferent. Is that the right? Yeah, feel really different, made me feel strange for having to take so many medicines all the time. And, I feel like you don't understand the gravity of like what you're diagnosed with or what it means for yourself as a teenager or as a kid growing up. And so seeing the x-ray, it just made me feel like, what else is wrong with me in a sense? And then, just because we've spoken about it on the Twisted Thursday, it's just like add in the ADHD, you just have like this pile of stuff that I'm dealing with, not feeling great about myself. And on top of it, I'm in chronic pain and I'm trying to understand why it's not going away. And that to me, like, that makes me feel so sad for my younger self. Because I was on that journey forever. I was in and out of physical therapy from 9th grade until 12th grade. And then, I was always doing, it's not like I didn't try and do exercises at all. I tried to be more active. I was in CrossFit before spinal fusion surgery. I was on the volunteer firefighter department racing team growing up. So I was active. I did rugby until they told me I had to fucking quit. And I finally got good at it. That was so frustrating. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is it infuriates me that, it infuriates me, one, that I didn't Google like more about scoliosis. But I remember, actually, fuck that. I do remember Googling because it literally brought upon the Twisted Wanderer. At 16 years old is when I came up with this fucking name. And I say that because I was doing research and all I could come across was adolescent scoliosis and like pediatric scoliosis. There was nothing for like someone, and I researched years later again in my 20s, and again there was nothing for us. And then at that point in time there's nothing for us. And so I never found anything about Schroth. I never met anyone who could tell me anything. And I guess like I put it on myself when I shouldn't. And because I know my parents and I did the best that we absolutely could. But I just like wonder, like, why the fuck didn't the medical, like, how? It's just wild to me that so many people are going on this journey still. And my spinal fusion will be 10 years old in September, and we're still hearing stories that are coming out and people being in physical therapy or chiropractic, and it's not specified for scoliosis. And it's just so infuriating because I spent my whole life trying to take care of my body and then eventually needed spinal fusion anyway. And of course it brings in the what if factor. Like, do I regret my spinal fusion? No. But do I wish I had more information? Yes. And it just makes me so mad. Like, it's just like wild to me. But yeah, I digress there. So not digress, but just pause for a moment. So, it got me thinking about, how hard it is to be a kid with scoliosis and to be in pain. And it makes it very obvious to me as to why that coping mechanism of drinking came in, and maybe not even realizing it then. But when you're in pain and then you kind of realize like a little booze here, a little booze there makes you out of chronic pain, I think you catch on. And, that makes me sad. It makes me sad that my teenage self had to look for that, or that was like her comfort, because they couldn't find relief in the medical part of it that was being presented to me. Like there was no personalized plan. And that's kind of where I want to shift to now. And I know why there's not a personalized plan anymore. And it's because what I've learned through my amazing community and the people who've come on this podcast is specifically like the people that are coming to mind right now is like Dr. Beth and Dr. Laura. Because when I've spoken to them, they were able to shed light on your x-ray. Because when we see our x-ray for the first time, we see that we are curved. We're staring at the spine, and our doctors make us focus on the curvature of the spine itself. And the biggest problem here is that it's not just the spine. We see our x-ray and it's 2D, I believe is the correct term. You see your x-ray and it's this 2D experience. But the truth of the matter is your scoliosis is a 3D experience, meaning like there's a rotation throughout the whole body. There's a rotation in the shoulder blades. There's a rotation in the ribs. There's a rotation in organs. And it affects our breathing capacity. It affects fatigue. So there's so many things that it's connected to. But when I got diagnosed, and when a lot of the people and the women I speak to who have been diagnosed, they get treated like it's this 2D experience. They get their basic physical therapy, your basic chiropractor, and we're missing the whole treatment plan for scoliosis itself. And yeah, that's going to bring up resentment. Like I'm kind of pissed off, I guess, because it's the first time I'm looking back and being like, wow, like this was a thing. And I know it was a thing because I believe Schroff came to the U.S. What year did Schroff come to the U.S.? So it's just, in 2006. Wait, I'll be so mad. Let's look at it. Oh, no. Schroff. Jeez, your girl can't spell. Please hold. Yeah, the 2000s, early to mid 2000s, because a chiropractor based in Massachusetts traveled to Germany to study the technique. Yeah, and he became the first U.S. practitioner certified. Cool. So I had my spinal fusion in 2016, and then so that means like I was going through I was going through physical therapy and everything, and I want to say I graduated to 2010, so I was probably in physical therapy from like 2006 to 2010, like in and out, just hoping something would work. Like I was in so much pain before my spinal fusion surgery, okay, and I just wanted something to work. Booze worked, but that's not the best for your bones, okay? Well, I want to do a whole nother episode on booze. But what I'm trying to say is it's frustrating, and it got me thinking about how many of us experience this. And I just want to say, if you experience this, your feelings are valid, but we can't hang out there forever. I know I'm speaking to myself when I say we, okay? Because I can't hang out there forever. Because at the end of the day, I'm a titanium bitch, and I'm proud to be titanium. And I am stronger and more resilient because of the surgery that I have had, and because of the pain that I've experienced in my life, physically, mentally. But it's valid to wonder, like, what could have happened if I knew more about scoliosis and Schroff before spinal fusion? And that's the goal of this podcast, is for you to find out about these things before, like just earlier than myself and earlier than the people I've spoken to. Like everyone's main goal is so beautiful. The more people I speak to, is like they're sharing their story because they're like, wait, there's options. There's this, like, so that's just, I love that. I think that's my favorite part about it all. And, so all this to say, if you are in pain and you're new to this journey, and or maybe your kid is in pain and the physical therapy isn't working and they're telling you, hey, it's not working, listen to them and look at Schroth. Find someone in your area who practices Schroth. Find someone who specializes in scoliosis, and just make sure you do your reading. Learn about scoliosis. Learn about the curvature types. Learn about there's so many different ways to help these days. Like there's Pilates for scoliosis. There is yoga for scoliosis. There is the Schroth method, the breathing technique. Somatics, like I said in my last episode, has been so helpful for just, going inward and reflecting and like thinking about what you've been through and just sitting with it and seeing where it comes up and how we can better take care of ourselves as a whole. Because when we look at it as just a curved spine, we miss the point. And the point is, you're a curvy human and you need care everywhere. My guest and I were talking about how what did she say? We were talking about how we're in pain. Poop's cold. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Oh my goodness. I hate when this happens. What was I talking about? So it's going to come back. Caroline and I were talking about. Caroline and I was literally talking to her about how I wish at spinal fusion or at diagnosis there was a book. And Caroline wrote a book. It's called Tangled in the Curves, and I'm currently reading it on my Kindle. I don't have the hard copy. I would love the hard copy. I just was really impatient. So yeah, and it's just easier for me to read, honestly. Anywho, I digress. But I got the book, The Tangled in the Curves by Caroline, and it's just amazing because it's everything that she's been through and the people that she's talking to, and it's in one book, and it's literally something that younger me would have loved when they were diagnosed at 13 or when their pain started at 16 years old. So the whole point of that is to share that, is that there are resources out there. If something isn't working, trust your gut. If you have an inkling, trust your gut. Go get more information. There's so much more information out there. I'm going to link everything that I've mentioned in this episode in the comment section of the pod. So it's all there for you all. And if you are, going through the scoliosis journey right now and you're in a lot of pain and things haven't worked and you're leaning towards surgery, my biggest piece of advice is learn your options for surgery. There's a lot of different methods now compared to when I underwent my spinal fusion surgery in 2016. And there's going to keep being changes. There is so many good people out here right now having the conversations, sharing their stories, doing the research to try and get ahead of this so less people can, feel the way I feel when they reflect and wish they had more. The goal is for you to have this at diagnosis and be able to get a playbook and be in control of your destiny. I'm not saying like I wasn't in control of my destiny, but there are things that I wish I had at an earlier time that may have, changed the course, if you will. I also made the decision, like, I was really tired of being in pain. I was also in grief. We all know that. So like, I think I made a decision from, I wasn't going to have insurance anymore. I was a hairdresser. You don't give us insurance. And I couldn't afford my own. So it's just a number of things go into what makes you feel like you should have spinal fusion surgery. And at the end of the day, yes, it was a good decision for me. I think it's really because I but I think I'm just really proud of myself for denying it at like 18. And you should be proud of whatever decision you make when you're faced with it, whether that's saying no or it's saying yes to spinal fusion at that age or whatever age it may be. You have to just be proud and trust yourself of the decisions that you have made with the knowledge that you have at that point in time. I think that's the thing I'm trying to tell myself as well, because we cannot just sit in that angry phase. Yes, we can feel angry. Yes, we can wonder. Yes, we can feel sad about it sometimes. But at the end of the day, I think the most helpful thing is to truly embrace the journey where it's led us and go from there. Go from where we are, accept where it is, and then make the best decisions for ourselves. So I hope that makes sense the way I just want you all to it's not easy. Having scoliosis is not easy. There is a big mental game to scoliosis. And we just do the best that we can. And now that we have, I'm gaining all these tools and I'm putting them in my toolbox, I am hoping one day I'll have a Scoli routine. That's another goal. Because that's something we should all have if we do have scoliosis. We should definitely be finding what speaks to us and what helps us care for our beautiful curvy, beautiful curvy spine. And I just hope we get there, and I hope you give yourselves grace, because I definitely need to give myself grace. The more I kind of go on this journey of just, reflecting, therapy, all of the shit that I'm doing, it is quite interesting. Like I said, it's like meeting yourself again and kind of appreciating the past, but also like feeling angry when you need to, because maybe you didn't get to process everything at 16 or 15 or 17, 18, 19 years old. Okay? Because I know we feel like we know everything and we just like think we know everything. We don't. And I think later on, it's just about like, okay, I didn't know everything, but I really fucking tried. And I did the best I could. And so did my parents. And I guess so did the medical team, but I don't know. They should really, I just don't know. It's just wild to me. Like, our patient has scoliosis. Let's give them regular physical therapy. Okay. Or like, I guess it takes a while for like the information to trickle down to doctors, and then it's like, oh, are they gonna actually like pick it up and want to learn new shit? Who knows? But the doctors that I've spoken to are amazing, Dr. Laura and Dr. Beth. So yeah, that's my little tidbit on all of this. I feel like it's just, my biggest takeaway here is just, you can't be mad at what you didn't know at the time. And if you have this information now and you're on this journey, do the most research you can. trust yourself if you feel something is off, and just embrace your journey, embrace your curvy, beautiful, twisted spine, and know that even though some days are so hard and you may feel alone, there are so many people who are out there that are sharing in frustration, in joy, in grief, in so many things with you. And if you ever need someone, there is community. I'm here, and just know I'm proud of you, and you're a badass for having scoliosis, and if you have a spinal fusion, you're a spinal fusion baddie. This is our twisted path, and we're going to walk it and own it and strut it and do the best that we absolutely can with it, because that's all that we can fucking do in this life, that the cards were given. So just know I'm proud of you. We're going to pivot. So I know I said Scoliosis Month is coming up, and I'm really excited for it, and I have things to share. So for every Tuesday starting in June, the first Tuesday of June is June 2nd. So June 2nd, between 8:15 or 8:30, Teresa and I from T3 Personal Fitness are going live. We are going to go live straight here from Riverside, and I believe it's going to stream to my YouTube channel. I believe the YouTube channel is now under the Twisted Collective. I'm going to put all of this not in the comment box. I need to just double check, making sure everything streams to where it needs to be. Then I'm going to announce things on Unaligned and Unfiltered Instagram and the Twisted Wanderer Instagram. So look out for that. I'm super excited. Every Tuesday we're going live in June. We're going to be talking about different topics about scoliosis and spinal fusion. Teresa and I both have a spinal fusion, so it'll be fun. And yeah, going live. Really excited. More to come on that information. The website, the Twisted Collective. The goal is June. Okay? The goal is mid-June. I don't know how people build websites, but I'm trying my best, and I'm a little slow at it. So, not slow, but just a little slow at it, and I'm good with that. I'm good with being slow at it, honestly. But I want to update you all. It's coming. It's beautiful. I'm excited. Lots of things are going to live there. It's pretty much like my little business baby that I'm announcing. That's going to be very helpful for so many people. So more on that coming soon, the closer I get to building it. But pretty much think of it as a lighthouse of resources, whether it's ADHD, chronic pain, scoliosis, you want a blog post, eventually going to have some merchandise in there. And yeah, just very excited for that. So keep an eye out for that. The Twisted Collective is coming soon, I promise. And if you can hear my pup, I'm sorry. He is barking at probably a dog walking by. And then we're also, and then I know I mentioned Twisted Thursday. We haven't had a Twisted Thursday. I will see you all again on June 4th for Twisted Thursday. Taking a bit of a break to catch up. It's been a lot to balance the pod, everything going on, personal wise, and then regular work and my bar job. So it's just been a little bit of a juggle. I really appreciate your patience, but we'll be back on Thursday in June. And I decided, because June is Scoliosis Awareness Month and Pride Month, we're going to queer it up on Thursdays, because I'm really excited to talk more about things that are important, that need to be talked about, and to uplift the community and talk about important things. So look out for Twisted Thursdays starting June 4th, going live with T3 Fit Teresa on every Tuesday in June. And then the Twisted Collective website and business will launch, I'm hoping, sometime the week of June 15th, June 16th. So somewhere in there. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Please, if you enjoyed this episode, this episode helped, if these podcasts help, please comment, review, share, subscribe to the pod. It helps build this amazing Twisted community and helps us find beautiful, twisted people to let them know they are not alone in this twisted thing called life. So that is it, my beautiful people. I have to head to work, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm so excited to see you next Sunday. Should be one more solo episode, and then we're kicking off June Scully Sundays with people from the community. So get pumped for Scully Month, get pumped for the website, get pumped for all the good things to come. But until next time, take care of your brain, take care of your spine. Love ya. Bye.